Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Ultimate Conquest Racing the UCRL here tonight at the Richmond Raceway for the Man Cave After Dark Truck Series and some good short track racing here on tap. We're going to be having our in-race reporter Jeremy Little here in a second, but Jimmy, I know it's a short track, so as always, use proper language here, but just tell me a little bit about Richmond.
Too short to handle for me. No, there's a lot of fun here. A little higher banked. It's not quite flat, so it's it's runnable here. These guys are running pretty quick laps here. About 21 seconds, a little over 21 seconds to get around here. Everybody's really close to as far as speed. Eric Jeffers being on top right now with the fastest lap here in practice. You can see a lot of people coming off of 3 and losing it. I think they're just pushing the trucks right now, but now's the time to do it as they're in practice. As practice was winding down, about a little less than 3 minutes left remaining of practice. Before we'll talk to Jeremy a little here shortly, as he's had multiple poles this season so far, but I wonder if he's trying to get that one here for Richmond.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he'd like to go ahead and start from the front row again. And with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in the driver of the number 55. Jeremy, looks like you're sitting P3 on the boards right now, and maybe looking for another pole here as we were talking about it. So tell me, what's the difficulty here at Richmond? Is it 1 and 2? Is it 3 and 4? Is it entering pit road, or is the answer just yes?
Well, if you look at last week, it's always entering pit road for me. Now, here at Richmond, the truck just tends to, you've got to be able to get on the throttle coming off these corners, and it's so throttle sensitive. Coming off 2, coming off of 4 are going to be very important. Then getting into 1, if you run a low brake bias, that can be a little tricky as well. So there's some obstacles all around, but it feels good to put down a nice smooth lap here. It's one of my favorite tracks to drive for sure.
So 175 laps here on tap. What's kind of the mindset here? Is it just kind of biding your time like a normal race? Is it getting yourself into a good track position? Is it going to be difficult here to pass? Do you think there's going to be guys on different strategies, whether they're running their tires hard or kind of conserving?
Richmond definitely tough on tires, and like any short track, it helps to start up front. We've got a strong field throughout, and if you get mired in the back, it's just a lot of good drivers to try to work through, and it takes patience and it takes a while. So starting up front certainly going to be key. So hopefully we can find a little more. I think there's a little bit more there, so hopefully we can find a little more in qualifying and put it up front and have some clean view out the windshield.
So, got to bring up the elephant in the room. Arguably the best driver in the series here without a win. You found your way to the top of the boards and qualifying. What's it going to take to get that 55 into victory lane?
Yeah, it's been a frustrating year so far. We had a great season last year, multiple wins, and won the title. And we've got a bunch of new good drivers, strong drivers came in this year, and it's been a challenge. And felt a little snake bitten several times. We've had I feel like a race winning truck at several tracks, and just pit strategy or something happened and got us caught in the back in a wreck. Starting up front is going to be key, and then just trying to keep the nose clean. And I really hope for some long green runs. I feel like some of the shorter tracks have been marred a little bit by quite a bit of cautions, and that just starts throwing all sorts of pit strategies in the mix. And we get some long green runs that keeps everybody kind of on the same schedule, so you can't get caught off guard by something like that.
So sitting right now in 7th place, 310 points behind points leader Grady Gherkin, and season not exactly winding down just yet, but getting close to it. Going to have 6 races to go after tonight. Actually 7 races to go after tonight. So, what do you think your chances are of maybe still climbing back in here and going back to back?
It's going to be difficult. I think, getting the top 5, top 3 would be a win at this point. There's a lot of good drivers, and there's a lot of good drivers in front of me that just don't make a lot of mistakes. So I think climbing that far up is going to be proof challenging. Tonight will be a great start, and luckily at one of my favorite tracks after leaving one of my worst last week. So hopefully we'll get it. Hopefully we'll get it back on track and at least start moving that direction. That's the first step, is just start moving that direction.
All right, sounds like a plan. We'll let you try and move up the leaderboards here in qualifying, as it looks like you guys are just starting that. So wish you good luck. If we get a chance, we'll talk to you during the race. If not, maybe we'll talk to you in the top 3 afterwards.
Sounds good. I hope to talk to you guys one way or another tonight. That'll be a good thing. So you guys have a good one.
All right, you too, buddy. That was driver of the 55 here, our in-race reporter, Jeremy Little. And we are starting qualifying here, Jimmy. And as you said, these times are pretty quick around here. Just, right on the edge of the 22, high 21 second range. And it doesn't take long to get around Richmond, but it also doesn't take long to have some kind of issue.
No, it doesn't take long to have an issue. Most of the spins are going to wash up the track, so be looking for it. If you be careful being on that outside with somebody on the inside. But I think these guys have had their fair share of tricky racetracks and learned from some of them. So hopefully tonight they get a good run here. But right now it's looking like Travis Bennett up on top, Grady Gherkin pulling in the second over Jake Lesh, Tony Japs, Tim Glass, and Peter Przuchek and Joe Hurd. As these guys are out there continuing to practice. I was watching Peter a little bit last night, racing some road races, getting a pretty decent finish there in the GT4. So Peter Przuchek doing his thing and keeping the racing going with his Twitch stream fans that he got over there. So we'll see what he can do here tonight. Looks like Chris Bouchard just took over the pole over Travis Bennett.
So just one more shout out to all the fans out there. In case you weren't with us last week, we just want to thank you once again for getting us to the mark that we were looking to try and hit, and that is 300 subscribers. So thank you to everyone out there watching here tonight, watching on the other broadcasts that we have, wherever you are. We thank you out there. But getting back to the series here, Grady Gherkin on top of the points and up on top by a pretty big margin. Only one win on the season, but the 7 top 5s and 9 top 10s out of 12 races has got him out to a 140-point lead over Chris Bouchard, which, Bouchard, you kind of can't get out of any race. See him at the top of the boards right now, but 140 points back is a pretty good gap here. Granted, a lot of time left in the season, but it's going to be a tough road for the rest of these guys to try and catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these guys, got a lot of races left, and they do get a couple drop races, I believe. And with that being said, they have a pretty big field though. So if you do bad, you can and you're up front and you do well, you're gonna see a big change in points and gain some good ground. So I mean, it's gonna be Grady's probably mission in life to make sure he's in that top 5 for the rest of the season. But right now he's 7th overall as Justin Kirby just takes the pole here with a 21.970.
Yeah, one of our other fellow drivers pretty much has the quote to understand how to win a championship, and that's you win your championship on your bad nights. And Grady has yet to have that many really bad nights that has really killed him for the season as compared to some of these other guys. But as we mentioned, he's got a 140-point lead over Bouchard. 165 points back is Travis Bennett in 3rd. Eric Jeffers in 4th, 170 back. Christopher in 5th, 205 back. And then you have Jerry West, Jeremy Little, Scott Bolster, Andrew Ratcliffe, and Justin Kirby rounding out the top 10 in the driver's points. Taking a look at the team points, and still full throttle. Just been the team to beat all season so far, as they hold about a 430-point lead over Turner Burn Motorsports in 2nd place. Mid-Pack Motorsports team for Jeremy Little is in 3rd place, not too far behind, only looks like 18 points behind 2nd place right now. So trying to make a move and get up into to 2nd place and maybe put a Front Pack Motorsports on there instead of Mid Pack. But doing pretty good so far on the season. Those are kind of your cream of the crop top teams here this season, with Black Magic Motorsports, Sprunk International rounding out the top 5, and then Elite Motorsports, Inca Salsa Racing, No Lift Motorsports rounding out the 8-team field. But we are done with qualifying. Our in-race reporter Jeremy Little just missed the pole, but Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give you a rundown of the field tonight, as we have 23 drivers here for Richmond for 175 long laps. I mean, short laps. I mean, or whatever you want to call it. But Justin Kirby on the pole, just over Jeremy Little, our in-race reporter, taking on that front row. So then you have Brent Kirby right behind him in 3rd, with Chris Bouchard in 4th, and Matthew Grayhouse in 5th, Travis Bennett in 6th, Grady Gherkin in 7th, Eric Jeffers in 8th, Jerry West 9th, Trevor Hunt 10th, Scott Bolster in 11th, TJ DeBlasi in 12th, Tim Glass 13th, Jordan Wenzel in 14th, Jake Lesh back in 15th, Tony Japs in 16th, Peter Przuchek in 17th, Carl Bartles in 18th. Let's move Gotta move these around just a little bit so we can pick up the rest of our drivers. And the rest of the field tonight will be Joe Hurd in 19th, Jasper Crawford in 20th, Christopher Spencer in 21st, Robert Colgan in 22nd, and Chris Fail rounding out our field here tonight in the 23rd spot. So these guys are getting ready here to run 175 laps of Richmond, and looking forward to watching them to see what they can do.
Yeah, I would say Jeremy Little's got to be happy, but maybe not so much that he just missed out on the pole. But by the looks of it, he's maybe a little worried about being the meat in the Kirby sandwich right now, as you got Justin and Brent right there up in the top of the field. And it's it's two guys that you have to watch out for, just like Bouchard, just like Bennett back there, Greathouse, all these guys. You can't really pick out just one. I mean, Jeremy mentioned it's a deep field, and there's no shock, at least to me, that there's been so many different winners. I mean, taking a look at the point standings, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different winners over 12 races, and that's a testament to how deep the field is. Only 3 drivers, Bouchard, Bennett, and Stouffer, have been able to crack the second win column right there. But some of these others that just don't have a win yet. Jeremy Little has had his chances. Scott Bolster has almost snuck out a couple here and there. Jacob Lesh has had his moments up there to try and sneak one out at the end. A lot of good drivers, even looking down further in the order, down there in 16th in points. Matthew Greathouse has been up there a bunch, and just a lot of bad luck. So anybody can really win on any given night. It's just how the cards fall, how the cautions fall, how the pit strategy falls. But we are going to be going green the next time by. We'll watch the green flag fall from Barney. And a good size field here once again, as always, for the UCRL Man Cave After Dark Truck Series. 175 laps on tap. It seems like a lot, but these laps will go by very quick if these guys are nice and clean. Certainly seen some guys struggle a little bit in practice, but I'm sure they will get this thing going here, and it should shape up to be a pretty good race. Tends to be a little bit low dominant, but you should see a lot of attempts, at least, at passing into turn 1. That's going to be your kind of trigger zone. But we are waiting for Bonnie to trigger that green flag as they come off of turn 4. We are green flag racing at Richmond Raceway. Good start by by Justin Kirby, already getting out there up to the top to get a good angle into 1. He will carry through to the backstretch with the lead. Little able to hold on in second, as Brent Kirby, a little bit of a stumble coming off the corner. Going to give the outside to Bouchard. See if he can complete the pass, as he will have the momentum coming off the corner. And something to watch right there is if that second groove comes into play, you can certainly get a lot of momentum coming off the corners if you can make that second groove work, at least through 3 and 4. In 1 and 2, the second groove is just sketchy. Coming off that corner, turn 2 exits, and that wall in the backstretch comes up quick.
Yeah, they were talking about, throttle control of these trucks, and, with them being full fuel, and they like to set up their setups a little bit loose. So as the fuel goes, they'll start tightening up a little bit also as the tires go, but they'll obviously have to adjust their braking points going into the turns. But right now it's Justin Kirby out front with Jeremy Little in second, Chris Bouchard in third, Brett Kirby in fourth, and Matthew Greathouse right on your top 5.
Funny, I think that's the first time, Jimmy, that I've seen 2 purple times, as Jeremy Little and Chris Bouchard both run the fastest lap of the race. Granted, it's only lap 3 that they did it on, but I don't think I've ever seen 2 exact times like that during the race to set purple times. So that was just kind of funny, a little side note there. But yeah, Justin Kirby now out front. He's got that clean air, and one thing we didn't talk about is how much dirty air affects these trucks. And with these shorter tracks here, again, you really want to try and get down to the bottom. You want to try and hook that bottom as much as possible. And for me, I haven't had a chance to get out there and test these trucks here at Richmond, but it always seemed like no matter what cars you bring here, getting down there in turns 1 and 2, it almost kind of has that we always talk about Charlotte having that like 1 tire width grip at the bottom of 1 and 2. It seems like Richmond tends to have that as well.
Yeah, and you can see right now these guys are single file for the most part, all the way back to TJ DeBlasio and Scott Bolster, where TJ is getting underneath Sky here as they're coming out of 3, going down the front stretch here as they cross the start finish line right underneath Barney there. But these guys will run single file for the most part, and then just kind of wait for that guy in front of you to make that mistake, or just slip up just a little bit enough to get your nose under there and make a clean pass, and hopefully they realize that you're in there, because I know road racing, that's like the crash zone. You stick your nose in there, you're more likely you're gonna wreck in a corner. So just got to be careful there. But it looks like Chris Spencer back here making moves, up 4 positions already, up to the 17th spot. So Chris Spencer looking to get to the front, and Kyle Bartle's doing the same as he's up 3 positions in that 15th spot.
Yeah, it's pretty much right what you said, Jimmy. It's not exactly an easy pass to track or easy track to pass. You really do need to wait for somebody to make the mistake, because getting a really good run doesn't happen that often. These straightaways are just too short, especially the backstretch, not really long at all. You can consider the coming out of turn 4 there, where these guys are coming out right now. This entire front stretch, it's turned the entire way, but I guess if you want to consider that a front stretch, you can maybe get a decent run out of there, but you're still going to have to kind of send it down in the corner a little bit and trust that the guy above you is going to give you the room. And these guys have done a pretty good job of that all season. I mean, pretty much for the most part, everybody is pretty conscious of each other, and they have a lot of respect for each other. So far so good, as we are 11 laps in here, stretching out a little bit here at the front, but as you can see by the intervals there, nobody really out to a big lead over one another, as only a half a second lead for Justin Kirby over Jeremy Little.
Yeah, it's a real close race in here. These guys are single file. I think they might have learned their lesson and realized that, hey, we have 175 laps to go around here. Let's take a little easy. Let's get some single file running, get a good portion of this race up. But speaking of that, we have a little bit of movement in the back here. It looks like Joe Hurd got by Tim Glass there, and again back here with Robert Colgan and Peter Pazuchik fighting there for that 21st, 22nd spot, but doing a good job running side by side, showing it can be done, and it's not always easy, and it can be rough on your tires, and it can slow you down, letting the field pull away, but nonetheless, it's always good racing, even front or back, no matter where it's at, and these guys continue to make it around here, a decent clip.
Yeah, and that's really what I want to see, if these guys go on that long run. Where is the pit stops going to be? How are these guys going to manage their tires? Because it's really easy to burn up your tires here at Richmond. You see some guys just maybe scraping the wall a little bit there. I'm not sure if that was Bouchard just blinking out a little bit. I seen a little puff of smoke, but I mean it's very easy to overdrive the corners here, overdrive the entries, to either try and catch up to that guy in front of you to make the pass, or just try and keep up with it. As you see, that's really what everybody's doing right now, just trying to keep pace with each other, but you can't really tell in the truck how much these guys are pushing. You can't tell if they're overdriving the corners or not. You can't tell if they're, steering just a little bit more, putting a little bit more rotation into the wheel as compared to other people. And that's really where a lot of people in sim racing, myself included, need probably the most work on tire conservation, is turning that wheel more than you have to. I mean, it's when you get into the corners, you turn the wheels so much, and then you get to the point where you turn it any more, and it's not going to give you any more turn in the car. And all it's going to do is just scrub those tires off little by little, and then the more you turn, the more it's going to scrub it off. So it's all, it's a delicate balance, and knowing the limits of your truck, no matter what speed you're going at into those corners.
Yeah, I don't know how much this new tire model, or if the NASCAR trucks and cars got affected by the tire model, but I was watching some streams last night, because I'm an avid, I just watch people's streams and people race in general. I love it. And but anyways, they're in a 40-minute race in the GT3, and they were getting yelled at by their spotter that they're gonna have to come in soon because they got low rubber in a 40-minute race. So they were and during those races they have to come in and get gas. They're not a full tank, but 3/4 of a lap, and at the end of the race they're down to like 30%. So on one tire. So the new model is really, especially for the GT3 cars anyways, has really taken a big toll. And if you're that type of driver, it's just really hard on too much steering, you're gonna get punished.
And that's really, it's nice. It's nice that it is like that, at least for the GT3s. And I'm hoping that they start doing that across the board, just implementing a little more tire wear. I appreciate that they're always striving to to get the most realistic feel, the most realistic wear of everything into to iRacing. That's kind of their motto, their mission statement, or whatever you want to call it, since since they've been established. But just having some little things like I've talked about multiple times, to just it may feel arcadish, but to give the options to these league owners, these people that run the leagues, the chance to increase the tire wear. You can already drop the amount of fuel that you can have in the trucks, in the GT3s or whatever you're doing, by a certain amount. Say you're running a series where it's 50% fuel, you still have 100% tires. So you're not really getting a real true feeling of what it is to run with a lighter tank, and you're pitting only because you need fuel and maybe not necessarily need tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing they should do. I mean, we know that they should try their best, because this is a simulation game, and they're trying to make it real. But a lot, people don't have time to run 500 miles, to exercise tire wear, a normal type of tire wear. And it would be nice to have that option, like you were talking about, to be able to adjust how fast the tire wears. And I mean, so I think some leagues would take advantage of that to make it as real as possible, just like in a shorter amount of time, obviously. So it's realistic, but not, because tires want to be gone in like 10 laps. But some tracks, the cars, if you don't drive them right, they're gone in 10 laps anyways. But move up here to looks like around Great House, and Brent Kirby battling here with the 46 of Grady Gherkin behind him, looking to take advantage of Kirby getting kind of stuck up on that high side. So, bottom side looking to reign supreme here, but Kirby is able to continue that momentum and stay ahead of him going into, or coming out of 4, going across the start-finish line here. So, but right now it's Justin Kirby out front with Jeremy Little closely behind. In fact, Jeremy Little is also not only our in-car reporter, but he's also the sponsor of tonight with the meat stick, wireless meat thermometer here. So he's running that paint scheme on that truck tonight as well.
So a little bit of a gap between 3rd place and 4th place right now, and a little bit deeper in the field between 9th and 10th is finally starting to see some white times there, and that could be attributed to exactly what we're talking about, tire wear, how much everybody is just driving or over driving. But right now, about a 1 second gap between 3rd place Chris Bouchard and 4th place Matthew Greathouse. A bit of a battle here as we look back further, as Brent Kirby has slipped back a little bit from the 3rd place starting position, and now in a battle to try and stay inside the top 5, as points leader Grady Gherkin all over him. Right now, still give it to Brent Kirby, but Gherkin certainly looking for a way around, using all the track and almost then some, working the outside now, as the inside did not work for him. See if he can get a run through 1 and 2 and get the good exit out of there. He'll have a little bit more of momentum, still not able to clear that 95. They'll be side by side into 3, and this is allowing Travis Bennett from behind bring that 6 machine right up into the battle. But Gherkin will make the pass, move up into the top 5, and that momentum almost brought Travis Bennett up into the mix here, and now he is going to take a look to the inside of the 95. But Brent Kirby just going to have a little bit better run on the outside. Travis Bennett going to fall back in line for the time being.
Yeah, and I think that's the first time tonight we've seen the outside work, where the Grady was able to get around on the outside, and now Travis is going to the inside of Brent there, just trying to get by him. And it looks like he's going to make that complete that pass there, but Brent doing a pretty good job of trying to make that outside work. So you see Travis get a little bit loose there going down to the inside, so we're losing a lot of momentum, allowing Jerry to kind of stick his nose up in there, so looking to make it to 3 wide, but he knows better to do that, so he's gonna back off just a little bit. But he had a nice little run there, and just not able to capitalize on the situation. So Jerry West looking to make position, and Eric Jeffers at number 4. He's had a couple of tough races recently, but he's finding himself back here in the 9th position currently. Then Trevor Hunt in 10th.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the 95 there of Brent Kirby is just in full-on conservation mode right now, or if the handling's gone away from that truck a little bit, because it did seem like he's quite a bit off pace when it comes to driving there with Grady Gherkin in there for a little bit with Travis Bennett. Now looks like Bennett going to fall back a little bit. He's going to fall back one position as Jerry West going to get by and now look to get to the inside of Brent Kirby. But it just doesn't seem like the pace is in that 95 truck right at the moment. So we'll see if it's if it's his doing, trying to save a little bit, or if it's just tires going off a little bit. But up front, it is Justin Kirby now stretching it out to over a second lead, trying to check out now a little bit here on Jeremy Little, and the man of the hour, the sponsor man, the in-race reporter man, is he's got to find a little bit of speed here to keep up with that 58.
Yeah, he's got to find a little bit of something, but he might be saving just a little bit, not pushing it quite as hard, trying to save some tires. Looking at the docket, these guys, if I'm not mistaken, I think I read anywhere between 100 and 106 laps per fuel run. So
easy for you to say.
A lot of big words in there. but anyways, trying to do a good job, and just kind of hang on and try to make them tires last as long as the fuel, so they don't have to come in. And being a short track, if you do to go in, under green flag situation, you could go a couple laps down here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even from the lead, there's a good chance you're going down, maybe even 2 laps. So we'll see how these guys kind of play the strategy out here. Still a lot of laps before we should see anybody in there, and that is certainly what Justin Kirby wants to see. Is he is certainly trying to check out right now, out to almost a 2.5-second lead. Looking back here on the battle, still waging for 6th. And then back a little bit further, good battle here in the back half of the top 10. Just outside of it, battle for 11th between the 81 of Wenzel, 76 of Bartels, and 78 of de Blasi. All three of these guys all over each other, and all over the place is de Blasi. Good save there by the 78, as he's going to lose a little bit of time to these guys. But just give it a couple laps, we'll be right back in the mix once again.
Yeah, Carl Bartels doing a good job, slowly moving through the field. He's up 6 positions, up to that 12th spot there, right behind Jordan Wenzel in that 81 Sprint car. So these guys are trying to get around here cleanly, smoothly, and work their way to the front.
You've seen Bartels in turns 1 and 2 just really getting all the way down to the bottom. You really want to get that truck all the way to the bottom, all the way down to that yellow apron, but you don't want to touch that apron at all, because it's going to upset it a lot, one way or another. I mean, if you catch it the wrong way, it's going to want to snap the back end around. You catch it another way, it's going to just push you right up the track and into the outside wall of the backstretch there. And I know about you, Jimmy, but I've eaten that back stretch wall just way too many times in several different cars, and it ruins a race immediately.
Yeah, it's nothing like tagging a wall, and then the next thing you know, your car just doesn't quite handle right after hitting the wall. I don't know why. I mean, something about concrete.
Just does not agree. Safer barrier, my rear end. That's all I'm going to say. 'Cause it's not any kind of safer when it comes to keeping the the fenders on the vehicles. But again, great job out front for Justin Kirby, but new second place driver now, as Chris Bouchard has moved past Jeremy Little. So move the 28 into second place, see if he has anything to run down that 58 machine, who's out to now a 1.8-second lead. Jeremy Little falling back a little bit now, even to Chris Bouchard, as he's back about a second from second place and starting to fall into the grasp of Matthew Greathouse, who's up there into 4th. So good start for the 51 machine. Once again, hopefully, the finish can be as good as the start, as he's just another one. I mean, these two, you take a picture right there, and you can just slap a little logo on the bottom of Tough Luck Charlie's right there, as they have just dealt with just one thing or another. It seems like race in, race out, whether it's self-inflicted or more often than not, just wrong place at the wrong time and getting collected up into things. But so far so good. Both guys up into the top 4 right now, so good start by these guys and by everybody right now. This is not the most difficult short track here, but it can certainly get a little squirrely. But these guys doing a fantastic job so far, as we are about to complete lap 45 of 175.
Yeah, I just looked up when you said they're doing a great job and realized already 45 laps have been ticked off here. So about a quarter way through this race, and still green, still a lot of good hard racing. People are starting to spread out just a little bit, as you can see that Matthew Greathouse getting underneath Jeremy Little, so Jeremy is going to slide back one more spot, but here comes Grady Gherkin looking to continue to march his way forward as Grady's up 2 spots from the start now. Great move, that move right there past Jeremy Little makes Matthew Greathouse up 2 spots as well. So a lot of guys moving up towards the front, a couple moving back. The guy having a little bit of trouble since the start is Brent Kirby, but he just got around Carl Bartles for that 10th position, but he's going to continue to battle back here. So I think maybe the Kirbys just maybe ran a little bit harder at the start, and I think maybe they're trying to save a little bit of tire here towards the end, or maybe they're just going to stretch it out a little bit. But Brent and Brent and Jordan Wenzel just continuing to battle back here, or Carl Bartles, excuse me.
So the one truck that I don't see in the field here tonight, and I just noticed it, but I do not see Chris Stouffer here in the field, and he's been another one that has just been, kind of tough luck Charlie the last few races, as he had his wins earlier in the season and was leading the point standings for quite a bit in the beginning, and then just seems like the wheels fell off a little bit and he got caught up in just one too many things, and the same thing kind of happened last week to him, and finished way back there in 25th, 17 laps down there at the race at Michigan last week, and now we don't see him in the field here this week. So it's unfortunate, because he was certainly one that was a contender for week in, week out wins, let alone the championship here. Came in again in 5th place in the points, but a DNS here is certainly not going to help his chances, and it's really going to be a tough sledding for him for the rest of the year. Drop races or not, it's going to be some catching up to do for the 13 machine, but good start here for our points leader. Taking a look at him right there, Grady Gherkin in 5th place, doing what he's got to do. And it's too early, I think, right now to go into kind of conservation mode and just think about points for the rest of the season. A lot of racing left to go, as we got 8 races left, including this race here tonight. So
Jeremy Little,
yeah, little bit there for the 55. Does collect it, but he's going to fall back into the grasp of the 46. Gonna just barely hang on for now, but Gherkin gonna have a bit of a run on the outside. We'll see if he elects to go for the pass on the outside. He's got Jerry West on the back bumper as well, looking to try and get around, maybe get a little 2-for-1 action here, as he's all over the back bumper of Little. And both of those guys are going to go very high up into 3. It's going to give the inside just a little bit to West, and gets into it. Maybe a little bit of net code there, maybe a little bit of just air under there. It was pretty close. Not sure if there was contact, but certainly got the 55 a little loose. Gave the position to Grady Gherkin. Now Jerry West going to look and try and do a bit of a run on his own, and gets the 55 back one more position. So sliding back here a little bit is Jeremy Little, kind of just like we've seen Brent Kirby slide back. As looking now at the scoreboard, Brent Kirby way back there into 12th position. So not exactly feeling too well right now is the 95. So not sure what's going on with him, or again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's in just complete conservation mode right now, but he is back there 11 seconds off the leader right now, who has a 2-second lead. That is Justin Kirby, his brother. 2 seconds, actually 2.2, call it now, over Chris Bouchard in second. So Bouchard moved his way into second, but has not done anything but lose more ground to your leader. So whatever Jeremy Kirby or Justin Kirby, man, I'm just messing first names up all night here tonight. Everybody's Jeremy tonight, apparently. But Justin Kirby doing a fantastic job. You see him just hooking that bottom, exactly what I talked about. Getting all the way down to the bottom, it steers so much better around 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is kind of a crapshoot. I've seen drivers right there. I've seen them up half a truck length from there, and it's almost a feel of what you're comfortable with and what the truck is comfortable with. But for me, 1 and 2 is just all about getting down to the bottom. You see right there, Matthew Greathouse getting all the way down, just about on the yellow line, and again, so far so good for the 51 machine. I'm happy to see him up there in the top 3. Certainly deserves a podium, let alone another chance at a win.
Yeah, he's just had some bad luck, wrong spot, wrong time. But Matt Greathouse has, definitely put some good showings in and showed potentials to, to be up there on the podium, if not win some of these races. And you're right on board here, as you can see, as he dips down to that inside, as he follows Chris Bouchard around this track, and looking to put a little pressure on Chris and hopefully get around him here and try to track down Justin Kirby, as Justin's trying to check out on everybody, but he's gonna have to deal with some lap traffic there as he's looking up ahead out of Matt Greathouse front window here, as he's there making our way around the track right out of 2 now, going on the backstretch.
Yeah, he's got a whole lot of mid-pack motorsports in his rearview mirror, but they're back pretty far in his rearview mirror, as Bouchard and Greathouse both in the mid-pack motorsports camp, as Black Magic is Justin Kirby, Brent Kirby, and Trevor Hunt. So those guys got a 1st and an 8th right now, as Brent Kirby now in pit lane. So not sure if this is scheduled or unscheduled, what's going on. Maybe he got into the wall just one too many times, and that's why the handling went away in that 95. But already our 3rd place starter into the pits, and you see just how many laps he's going to lose here. Already down a lap and just getting to his pit box. So he will most likely go down yet another lap here before it's all said and done. Seen a couple guys there a lap down. So we have a few guys that have come into the pits already. Chris Spencer has been in the pits for quite some time, so he might have got some major damage there that he's got to repair. But you see the 95 pulling out back onto the track, but already 2 laps down. So there's a situation now where whenever you pit, you need to have everything go green. You need to have the entire pit cycle go through, or if not, it's going to be impossible without cautions to get you back. But you see what tires do. You've seen how rough that 95 looked before he came into the pits, and now everybody is just a traffic cone to him. They're just in the way, and he's got to just maneuver his way around there like it's an obstacle course. He can pretty much put that truck wherever he wants to compared to everybody else, and look at just unbelievable run there. But again, he's pit very early now. He's going to have that early speed right now in this run, but when these guys pit, they're going to have that run as well, and depending on how late they pit, it could really just catch him off guard, and he can lose even more positions.
Yeah, you just got to be careful, especially with this lap traffic. If they're not going to just let you go, I don't expect the lap traffic to, especially the first lap, to just let the leader go on by. But Matt Greathouse looking to get underneath Chris Bouchard right now, taking advantage of it being slowed up by the number 8 there. So he's going to take that 2nd place away, and now he's got to run down Justin Kirby, as Justin Kirby is. We'll go up to him right quick, as he's making his way. Just got past his brother, so that's something looking forward to. Or maybe the 95. You said the 95 was in the pits, right?
Yep, yeah, the 95 is the one that's 2 laps down. So Brent now getting back on 1 lap down. So he's the last car 1 lap down right now. So now the goal for the 95 is just get to the front as quick as possible once again, and at least get himself into a lucky dog, kind of worst case scenario at this point. But he's got 3 more drivers that he's got to pass, and one of them, really the first one, is not too far behind him, and that is the 8 of Joe Hurd. Tim Glass a lap down in 20th. Chris Fail back there in 19th. He is 1 lap down as well. And the leader is certainly into lap traffic, as he is not too far behind Peter Borzuchek, who is in 18th position right now. He is just putting on a clinic out front. Got it up to almost 3-second lead over Matthew Greathouse before he took over 2nd place. But Greathouse starting to claw back in just a little bit here.
Yeah, and I think Justin's starting to stretch things out. We're here on laps, 70. So they're almost at a point where, if they came in, they could probably make it the rest of the way. So, maybe that's what some of them guys that came in a little bit earlier, maybe are thinking that they can pit early, use the short pit to hopefully catch up and take advantage of the situation, and hopefully get more guys to come in here. But right now, Chris Fail is the first one lap down, then Tim Glass, and then Joe Hurd, and then Brent Kirby. So right now, if an accident or something were to happen right now, Brent Kirby coming in early, he'd still be stuck a lap down.
So coming up on 100 laps to go already, as these laps are really, really ticking by quickly. And that's just music to the 58's ears, as Justin Kirby has enjoyed the lead the entire way so far. Sat on the pole and pretty much it took a little bit to check out from Jeremy Little, but then once he did, he pretty much checked out from the entire field. Matthew Greenhouse kind of keeping him at bay right now, right about at that 2.7 second range. So just keeping an eye on that to see if he can claw back in a little bit. Bouchard not too far off the back of Greathouse, but he is falling back just a little bit as well. Grady Gherkin in 4th place yet, and just not able to reel in that front 3 at all quite yet. He's got an eye full of Jerry West right behind him, as those guys have been nose to tail for quite some time now. Coming into the picture a little bit there is Eric Jeffers, 2nd place last week at Michigan, and would love to kind of turn that mid-season slump around and keep it turned around here and grab another top 5, let alone another podium. So a good start here for the 4. As Jimmy mentioned, Kyle Bartles up there now into 7th position. So really, really good start here for Kyle Bartles, as he is up 11 positions. Started way back there in 18th, just did not have the qualifying effort he wanted, but has made his way into the top 10 and shows that he has certainly got a truck to contend, maybe even for at least a top 5 here. So good start for the 76. Jeremy Little, our in-race reporter, our race sponsor here, has a little bit of a ground to make up right now, as he's fallen way back now to 8th place from his 2nd place starting position. So it's a little bit of a late run slump here. So not sure if that truck is just feeling really good on the short run and then kind of falls off in the long run, but that's what it seems like right at this moment. Back there in 9th place, we have Trevor Hunt, one of the other Black Magic Motorsports trucks, and they certainly have shown some speed with Brent and Justin Kirby, and Travis Hunt is up 1 position also, as all 3 of them qualified in the top 10. So great qualifying effort for Black Magic Motorsports in general, and he has kept that 59 machine in the top 10 this entire race now. Travis Bennett was up there towards the front to start this thing, qualified in 6th, and did sniff the top 5 for a little bit, but now has fallen back there into 10th place, as that will be your rundown through the top 10.
Yeah, and the racing continues. Past the top 10, you have Jordan Wenzel in 11th, and then you have TJ Velocity back in 12th position, and Great Scott back there in 45, representing the Scooby-Doo machine. Also the league manager and the guy that puts on, gets these guys together week in, week out. Goes through the replay. Gives everybody their penalty points that are needed, and keeps the league rolling as it should. And then back we have Jake Lesh back in the 7 machine in 14th, Jasper Crawford in 15th in that 89 Chevrolet, Robert Colgan in the 79. He's up 6 positions as well. Might not have the qualifying that he wanted, but he is up from where he started, so there's no shame in that at all. Then you have Tony Japs, that number 19 Tide machine, back in 17th position. Peter Pazuchek hanging around where he kind of started. He's up back in 18th position. And then you have Chris Fail. He is up 4 spots from his starting position. Then Tim Glass and 20th Brent Kirby, since he's already pitted, and he finds himself in the back of the pack in 21st position. Then you have Joe Hurd in 22nd, and Christopher Spencer is in the pits. He's been there for a little while now, as he's 36 laps down.
Yeah, it looks like he's kind of unofficially retired from this race, but gotta give a shout out, and didn't see it until now, unfortunately, that it looks like Matthew Greathouse, at least he's turned into a great house. He was a decent house to start with, the way it seems by our chat there. So definitely got to give a shout out there to PSH. Is Matthew Greathouse has a fan out there, and he should. He's been doing well a lot this season, just hasn't had the results to show for it, but doing well again here tonight, and has been cutting into that lead, so don't just go ahead and give this thing to Justin Kirby quite yet, as we are getting close to the halfway mark here. But that 2.8 second lead has now shrunk down to 2.3, so the 51 is certainly on the move, and we have a yellow. Looks like it involves the 78 on the backstretch of TJ DeBlasi. We'll take a look and see what happened, and it could be turn 2. Yeah, looks like Hurd just got a little bit too tight and knew he was going to come up with a wall, and the 78 had a good run off the corner and could not avoid the contact. That is going to bring out our first yellow, and question is, who does that trap now? As we've seen the 6 machine just come into the pits of Travis Bennett. He will be shown. Looks like he just went 1 lap down, not 2. So I think that is absolutely very fortunate for the 6, as he should be able to get his lap back here if he stays out and gets the wave around. But man, that could have been an absolute disaster for Travis Bennett. But now we will see all these drivers that did not pit yet just loving life and not having to worry about trying to pit under green here at Richmond. It's not exactly the easiest track to come into pit lane. Looks like Jake Lesh in pits already, so not sure if he was involved in that wreck, but he is bringing that thing in a little bit early, so he's probably going to get a penalty for coming in there in front of the leaders. But Justin Kirby going to bring this field into pit lane. See a lot of guys staying out there to try and get their lap back, and they're going to hope for a quick caution so they can get their fresh tires and fuel as well. But I assume that everybody here is going to go ahead and take 4 tires and fuel, as I already see some guys starting to leave pit lane. But it is going to be, looks like Tony Japs is actually showing as a leader right now, but I don't think he came into the pits quite yet. It looks like he's probably going to come into the pits this time, so it is going to be
bring his pit laps in, as he was in at lap 80. No, Tony Japs has not been in.
Yeah, he's not. He's coming in right now. He's coming in this time by, so that's going to cycle it back out to Justin Kirby. But now, Matthew, decently great house right now, as he is going to be starting alongside of Justin Kirby. What does the 51 have for the 58? That is the question that I got right now, and I know some people out there watching certainly have the same questions, because Greathouse certainly had a good truck on the long run, but is it good on that short run? Can he go ahead and stick with the 58 on the restart here and maybe sneak into the lead? You see the 6 machine right behind the pace truck right there. That is Travis Bennett, and he's not your leader. He is still technically a lap down, so once he gets to wave around here, he'll officially be back on the lead lap. But it is going to be the 58 of Justin Kirby, the 51 of Matthew Greathouse on the front row here for the restart. We'll see which lane each driver, or at least the 58 chooses. I would assume it's going to be the inside. And then on the second row is going to be Bouchard. Jerry West now up into 4th place, as he got a better pit stop, got out in front of Grady Gherkin, who is going to drop back into 5th. Kyle Bartle's up another position. He's up now 12 spots, as he's up into 6th place. So, certainly a truck to watch right there with a 76 as well. Taking a look at everybody's lap times, it certainly does look like everybody has taken 4 tires, and Jimmy, I don't blame him. I think I want, throw a spare tire. I would have been like, hey, throw some new tires on. Throw a spare tire in the bed while you're at it. I want tires.
Give me a caution. Like, somebody broke already. All right, guys, you proved a point. So there got 1 lap to go.
Travis Bennett.
Yeah,
Travis Bennett goes.
Travis got lucky there on that one. I mean, he was in the pits right before the caution came out, and was able to get back out and able to maintain and get back in the lead lap. So, he might have a little less fuel, but he's not going to be in any danger of going a lap down now, as he's able to get to the back of the field, and he's on the lead lap in 15th position. He was fairly quick, so I look forward to seeing Travis Bennett move his way back up to the front.
So we are at our halfway point, and it is time to crank this thing up and let you guys listen to this restart, let these trucks rip around the track, give you a little love to hear it, as the trucks are going to come off of turn 4, and Justin Kirby back on the loud pedal, and good time to give you a little love to hear it.
Yeah, love to hear it. as things were happening, or enjoying the sounds, but it looked like Jordan Wenzel decided to go down and trim the grass there on the front stretch as he got a little loose and sideways, taking her down to the inside. Just keeping it off the wall, though, so 81 just gets a little bit loose and brings it back up on the track. No yellow. They will continue to keep going to green, but these guys are definitely showing that they want to continue to race and continue these laps going green. But Justin Kirby out front here. Let me go back to live. He is 0.9 seconds, so wasting no time and trying to get his lap, his lead back as Matthew Greathouse continues to track him down.
The person that has really tracked him down right behind him is Chris Bouchard, but that is not for position. While we are under the love to hear it there, Bouchard, given a stop-and-go penalty, had to come in and serve that, and he is now one lap down right behind your leader, trying to get the lap back the hard way, as he was literally in this position before he had to come in and serve that penalty. He was in second place, but now right behind the leader, one lap down, and that has certainly turned the tides for the 28 machine of Bouchard. But certainly not out of it. He's in lucky dog position right now. Now it's all the way to the back row 58. Now going to make the move. So first time, I guess we see a little chink in armor for the 58. He actually passed by somebody other than the other pace here tonight, and still going to retain the lead. Still has led every single lap here. Some led under caution. Not sure if Tony Jeffs got credit for lap led there or not, but either way, he is back out in the lead. Matthew Greathouse is in second place. Jerry West, Grady Gherkin up to fourth. Eric Jeffers up to fifth place. Kyle Bartles, Jeremy Little, Trevor Hunt, Robert Colgan now showing himself in the top 10 in ninth place. And then Scott Bolster rounding out your top 10. And you see right there in 11th, probably the luckiest man on the track, Travis Bennett, is already up to 11th place. And it could have certainly been all the way back in 22nd place had the caution come out just one lap later. He would have went down 2 laps and not been able to get both of those back under caution. So got to be saying a little bit of prayers, a little bit of hallelujah on that one as he goes to make a move on the 9 truck there. And that is not for position. Chris Fala is back there 1 lap down in 20th, but Travis Bennett got to be loving it right there, and now just right outside the top 10. Got those fresh tires just like everybody else, and ready to rock once again.
Yeah, I mean, this is something you kind of like, especially on a track like this. You're like, all right, let me go in and pit a little bit early. We're doing good. Everybody's staying green. And then as you're in there, you see the yellow lights come on, and you're like, oh no, I'm stuck, you know. And I just happened to come out just at the right time. Was able to, at least catch up right in front of the leader there as they came in the pits. So able to maybe not start exactly where he wanted or how wanted it to turn out, but not too bad as he continues to move his way forward. He's up into the into 11th right now as he tries to track down Scott Bolster. But right now the guy out front is Justin Kirby. He's out to that 0.6 second lead as he's following Chris Bouchard around, and Chris Bouchard is like, I'm out. Like, I need to go around this track. I need to catch up. I need to do something. So, for Chris, his best bet is to catch a caution and hopefully catch him back up. That'll also allow his brother to get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap as well, as Brent Kirby's back in 16th. But second place is Matthew Greathouse, looking to track down Justin Kirby as he was doing right before the caution came out. And I think they're doing it right. They're not pushing too hard. There's a lot of laps left. I mean, there's still 72 laps remaining of this race. We're a little over halfway, but these guys here can make it on gas the rest of the way. We'll just see if they can make these tires last and what kind of strategy these guys continue to use to get around this track at a good clip here. And then you have Jerry West back in third, Grady Gherkin making pretty decent moves moving forward the whole race. He's up to third. He's up 3 points, up to fourth. So looking for good points nice here to maintain his championship points lead, and hopes alive. Eric Jeffers up 3 positions in that 5th position, and Kyle Bartles. I mean, I said it from the beginning. Watch out for Kyle as he was continuing to move up, but finding himself up in that 6th position, still moving forward. And Trevor Hunt up 3 positions in 7th. Jeremy Little down a few spots, but racing here pretty hard with Trevor Hunt looking to take that 7th position away on the outside, or maybe Trevor's just going to keep it and keep Little on the outside. Then Robert Colgan back in 9th. He is up 13 positions. So that's 79 having a great pit stop there, moving himself up to that 9th position in that top 10. And then Mr. Scott back there in he is the number 10, up 1 spot from the start. Haven't seen too much of Scott tonight. Is just kind of having a nice, good race, nice and clean, and staying out of trouble tonight. So, be no mystery. He'll be hopefully looking for that top 10. And then Travis.
That's what you did there, Jimmy.
And then back to our lucky dog. I mean, literally lucky dog on the catching that break on that big old caution is now up to 11th spot.
Yeah, I think Travis needs to change that side panel there to Miracle Go Go Go. He got that Miracle caution and got him back in there. And
95.
now the 95 has hooked it on the backstretch, and right now no caution. We'll see if it comes out. Looks like he just got loose coming out of 2. Didn't get to the apron, but that thing just snapped on him on the backstretch. Locked it up. Did tag the wall on the inside, but he does get that thing turned around and back going, or maybe not. I thought he did. Yeah. He did jump to the pit, so no caution out there. Heartbreak for the 95 of Brent Kirby. We still stay green here, but yeah, I mean, the 2 guys to watch going through the field, like you said, Kyle Bartles has been moving up through the field the entire race, up 12 spots, but Robert Colgan, last time we went to a short track was at Bristol, and he was able to nab a podium spot. He said it kind of shocked him a little bit, maybe didn't think it was in the cards, but he found his way up to the front and got there into the podium spot. Now he has driven his way up 13 spots into the top 10 and 9th place right now. So a good start from Colgan as he's got Lesh right behind him. Lesh is not for position. Lesh is 1 lap down, sitting back there in 16th spot. He is the first one 1 lap down. He will be in the lucky dog spot as Chris Bouchard still checking out little by little on Justin Kirby. So, Kirby may just be just kind of hanging out right now, maybe a little bit of conservation. They should be able to make it to the end on fuel. I mean, judging by the fuel that we were given by Scott, how far they can get on a tank of fuel. Should be able to make it on fuel, but how bad will those tires be screaming? I mean, they made it 85 laps, but those guys were itching to come in, and some of them already did start coming in even earlier than that. So we'll see how well these trucks can hold up for the 90 lap run that they're going to have to do to get this thing to the end.
Some people like, just taking their time and, making sure you're hitting your marks, getting around here nice and safe. And some people are a lot better at saving tires than others, letting off the gas early, coasting longer than you feel like you have to, instead of getting on that gas and burn up some left rear or right rear tire. I just, and this track has a pretty good banking, so you can just keep a good momentum going around here. Just hit your marks, get around here. They got plenty of fuel. They're gonna make it. And then Justin Kirby not having any pressure from Matt Greyhouse right now, as they do have 60 laps remaining, about 61 laps remaining here. Jerry West sitting back there in 3rd position, so top 3 doing a great job, but guy's not waiting around too much is that Grady Gherkin back there in 4th, looking like he's starting to catch up with the back of Jerry West, and I think we're gonna see something here shortly between those 2.
Yeah, it's a little bit surely. Not sure if it's Gherkin catching up to the 00 of West or vice versa. Maybe West just going to fall him back as he's fallen off the tail of Greathouse just by a little bit there, as Greathouse just hanging right with Justin Kirby at the front, not letting him go. And really interesting to see what happens as the run gets a little bit later here, see if Greathouse can chip into that lead and maybe be a menace and get by Justin Kirby and have a new race leader, but it has been all the 58 machine all night so far. Justin Kirby has been the dominant truck, but maybe the domination is coming to an end. Sometimes these drivers just need one good long run like that to feel out the truck from start to finish and really start to kind of hone those skills. And it sometimes can be a bit of a I don't know what you want to call it, a burden or really just a bad thing to have the run that Justin Kirby did at the beginning of this race by checking out and really not having any kind of competition, because he may not realize the speed that he may be giving up in this corner or that corner, because he had such a big lead that he can pretty much do whatever he wanted, and he kept checking out. But now as the drivers start to kind of learn this track and get a little more comfortable on it, he's going to try and find a little bit of extra speed now, because as you see, that 51 machine is getting bigger and bigger in his mirror.
Yeah, I just panned out here to the drone as flying around the track here, kind of watching these guys, and you can see that you have Justin in the middle of the screen, and every now and then that 51, he's sticking his nose down in there, just closing and closing, just slowly but surely. They're kind of inching back and forth, doing a little bit of slinky action, but doing what he can to keep him in tow, because there is plenty of laps left of this race, and like I said, I wouldn't see Matt Greathouse not wanting to get a win here, as he's been in the right position multiple times, just got caught up in, just a simple mistake, whether it's late in the race or, an accident of his own or somebody else's, just wrong spot, wrong time, and not having great luck here tonight. So, hoping that the 51 can get up there and get himself, finish at least where he's at and maybe even get a win here tonight. So let's go Greathouse. He'll be my call for tonight, even though we got plenty of laps left. But, a guy who might want to prove me wrong is Jerry West. He's been up there a lot of times and just doing a great job. He's sitting in the top 3 right now. The top 2 aren't too far away from him. He just has to keep, them hooks of that 46 away from his back bumper as Grady Gherkin wants to get by.
Yeah, Jerry West, one of those guys that has only one win, but you feel like he's driven well enough to have 2 or 3 at this point at least, and sitting right now 6th in points, 220 points back of the man that is right behind him at this point. But he's doing what he's got to do. He's got a fast truck here tonight, and maybe just kind of biding his time and saving his tires, as it seems like Jerry West does that quite a bit. You don't really see him too early in the runs, but then later in the runs, he just starts slowly picking off drivers left and right, and that could be the case right now. Maybe just letting Greathouse and Kirby get out to that bit of a lead here and leave him in the dust for the time being, run off those tires, and then that 00 will just start reeling them back in. But right now, it is the 58 and 51 starting to check out a little bit on Jerry West by about a second and a half almost at this point. Then you got Grady Gherkin in 4th, Eric Jeffers 5th, Bartles in 6th. Then you got Hunt, Little, Colgan, and Bolster rounding out your top 10, with Bennett, Crawford, Japs, Wenzel, and Bouchard rounding out your top 15, and those are the drivers on the lead lap. And then you got Lesh, DeBlasi, Porzuchek, Chris Vale, Tim Glass, your drivers that are 1 lap down from 16th to 20th. Joe Hurd in 21st, 3 laps down. Brent Kirby, unfortunately, with that incident on the backstretch, does get back out on the track, but 4 laps down right now in 22nd. So it's going to be a tough way to get back in the race for the 95 machine. It's a real shame, because he certainly had a good truck to start with, but maybe just kind of lost that handling a little bit early in the race and never really got it back. And unfortunately, they'd cost him the tag into the wall. But he is just one of the guys that has been bitten by the issue bug here tonight. Back 19 positions from his start position. Chris Bouchard is back 11 positions from his starting spot, as he started in 4th, and he's back in 15th right now. But he is the one that has been the only one to pass Justin Kirby, again, other than the pace truck at this point. And he got his lap back the hard way, and he is still holding off your leader, still in front of that 58, and just really needing a caution right now to get in there, get some fresh tires, and maybe try and march back through this field and at least get a top 10, if not a top 5 out of this thing. Certainly not out of it just yet, but he's going to need some help. But right now, these drivers are doing a fantastic job. Once again, nice little run here since they had the caution out to roughly about 45 laps right now under green. And it is out to a 1.1 second lead for Justin Kirby.
Yeah, a little shout there from Brian Lewis saying having a tough time cheering against a feller named Jerry West, but go Grey House. So Brian Lewis out there rooting for Grey House, and as Grey House continues to put on a good show here, currently in the second place. PSH wants to know if anyone else, if Jerry West is the one of basketball fame. So just trying to figure out who that actual Jerry West is out there. Right now he's the 00 in the 3, and he's in third spot. But Jerry is doing a great job on the track right now, and along with the rest of these drivers. Again, the sponsor of the race, Jeremy Little, with the meat stick, the wireless meat thermometer, having a little trouble keeping the truck up front or keeping the tires underneath them tonight, but still sitting in an 8th spot. But I want to give a shout out to the meat stick, the wireless meat thermometer here, as they sponsored tonight's race, the 175 laps here at Richmond, as we are on lap 134. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to all the fans that are out there currently watching. If you haven't, please give it that thumbs up, and if you haven't, sub to us by now, as we continue to make bigger and better goals for the next year, and not a bad deal to get started early. So if we can get any more subscribers out there and continue to make the channel grow and continue to bring on great coverage here of all these races with not only the UCRL, but we do some broadcasts for the Core Racing League themselves, and along with ECRC, as they will be looking to start their season up here shortly with some Xfinity cars.
Yeah, and once again, just I'll say it again, just to emphasize it for Jimmy here. Just a shout out to all the fans out there, and our 303 subscribers out there right now are all homegrown. It's all you guys and gals out there watching this race. There's a lot of streamers, a lot of broadcasters that have these big numbers, and they have thousands of subscribers, and more often than not, they paid for those. There's a lot of different ways you can go about paying to get hundreds and hundreds of chunks of subscribers to make your numbers look good, to hit certain numbers, to get to that 1,000 that you need to get to on YouTube. So don't let it fool you. There's more often than not, you watch those streams from these other drivers that have thousands of subscribers here on YouTube, and you guys have more people watching the races than they do. And a lot of times by far. So we thank everyone out there that has been an actual subscriber and helping us get to that 300 mark once again, and just helping us grow. So and getting back to PSH, if that is the actual Jerry West, I'm not even sure that the actual Jerry West is still alive, for that matter, but if he is and he's driving this well in third place, I mean, good on him for being a two-sport athlete at the very least. So doing a fantastic job up there in third place. And looks like Matthew Greathouse now starting to get that thing back into the yellow, starting to reel it in. Could be lap traffic a little bit, as it looks like the 81 of Jordan Wenzel now going down a lap, so that might have helped Greathouse catch back up just a little bit here. But the lead has gotten back down to the 0.6 margin, and it is starting to get a little later in the run. This is when the 51 truck started coming alive. So we'll see if Greathouse can now keep this run going, catch back up to the 58, and we may have a little bit of battle on our hands just yet for this win.
Yeah, I'm sure the 51 wanted to get by the 81 just a little bit closer, take advantage, but not losing much time there, as they're still 0.6 seconds apart. But Matthew Greathouse does make that move on the 81 of Jordan Wenzel. Jordan Wenzel still doing a good job here. I mean, he's in the 15th spot, maybe not the run he wanted, but pretty much where he started the night, and just kind of getting the 81 around here. So I mean, it's better than wrecking it and parking it for the pits for the night. But 81 has had some great races here in the past, and I would not be surprised to see him up front and leading another race before the end of the season. But Yes, but right now, Justin Kirby making his way through traffic has got Matthew Greathouse in his mirror, down to a half a second. Jerry West slowly creeping in as well, so lap traffic playing a big role. So let's see if Jerry West can get around the 81 a little bit faster than Justin Kirby and Matthew Greathouse, taking advantage of being able to, for them cars having to slow up. Grady Gherkin back there in that 4th position, and look who he has on his tail, the 76 of Kyle Bartels. Kyle Bartels currently up 13 spots. This guy is on a mission tonight. He is so close to having that podium spot. He has plenty of time that he could actually, get there. But I don't want to ruin his run. But I gotta say, I am impressed with the 76 tonight.
Yeah, apparently that team right there, just has what it takes to maybe not get the qualifying effort done, but they've got the race feel. I'd say setup, but everybody's running the same setup here. They've got that feel down pat for this race. So big shout out to Elite Motorsports with Robert Colgan and Kyle Bartels here. Both those guys on the same team, and just so happens both those guys are up a ton of positions, as Colgan is up 13 spots in 9th place. Bartels, as Jimmy mentioned, now up 14 spots into 4th position. So doing a fantastic job out there. Fortunately, Joe Hurd didn't have as good of a night, as he is out now, and actually looks like coming back out of the pits in 22nd. And then TJ DeBlasi is up there, and he is the one that brought out our earlier caution, as he is marred back there in 17th spot. But certainly got to give up to their teammates right there of Kyle Bartels and Robert Colgan, doing a fantastic job here tonight. Taking a look back here at Jeremy Little, our in-race reporter, sponsor of the race, still kind of chugging along and doing a good job staying inside the top 10. Not where he probably wants to be at this point. Really thought that he had a good enough truck to contend for the win, but just not in the cards right now.
Oh, and there's a yellow.
Look, now we have got a caution, and it unfortunately involves our lucky dog from earlier, as it looks like Joe Hurd just out of the pits, and he's got that speed, and the truck comes up and just sideswipes the 6 of Travis Bennett, and he is going to lose it. And I was just about to say, take a look at the lead, as Greathouse had it down to a quarter second. And this just probably came at the absolute best time for Justin Kirby, because that 51 was all over the backside. But certainly not good luck for the 51, and certainly not good luck for the 6 truck there as well. But we are under a pretty late race caution here, as we have got 25 laps to go at the line. These guys will most certainly be in here for
they're coming. They're coming in.
And if not all 4 tires here. I mean, Jimmy, do you dare take 2 tires at this point?
I don't unless you have some good feedback on and had practice on what your tires were doing, and especially with that first long green flag run. These guys are looking at about 25 laps as they come back, when they get done come out of the pits. And so when they go back to green, they're looking at about a 23 lap run. They're not going to be waiting around. They're going to want to push these trucks as hard as possible. They're going to want 4 tires. The guys in the back, they're definitely going to take 4 tires. So maybe somebody mid-pack that maybe wasn't running, and they're looking to maybe get another position or 2. But if I'm any driver out there, I'm going to take 4 tires. But it looks like the 58 is going to come out in front of Jerry West. Jerry West having a great pit stop there, as he was able to get out in front of Matthew Greathouse and Carl Bartels and Grady Gherkin. That'll be your top 6. But right now, the 81 staying out just a little bit longer to hopefully get his lap back. He's in the pit lane right now. But I think everybody's going to come in, Carl. Everybody's going to want that fresh rubber, because if not, you're just going to get eaten up. I think the time difference between fresh tire and old tires was right around 1.5 to 2 seconds, and that's detrimental. I mean, you can go from the front to the back. So if you stay out because you don't want to take tires and you got enough fuel, you're just going to go to the back anyway. So go in, take some tires, make it safe, give yourself that chance to get the position that you earned, and not try to just kind of luck out on a caution that's been out there. But right now, the guy out front, it looks like Jake Lesh is on the tail end of the lead lap in front of the leaders. So he's got a bunch of people in front of the leaders right now, as Justin Kirby looks to be the leader. So yeah, we got a bunch of people wanting to get their lap back as we were down to like, I think, what was it, like 13 or 14 people. So we got a big long line of people wanting to get by, starting with Jake Lesh. So Jake Lesh, the 78 of TJ de Blasi, Peter Przuchek, the 9 of Chris Fail, Tim Glass. They're all in front of the leader right now as they're waiting to get waved around to make it to the back of the field and hope. And I'm sure they're hoping a quick caution comes back out and they're able to get in and get a pit stop and get some fresh tires.
Well, certainly Travis Bennett there in 20th position. Once again, one lap down. Would love a quick caution here too to get that lucky dog and get back in there. But gotta ask you, everyone out there now, I mean, who you got? You got 20 laps to go. Justin Kirby has been absolutely dominant the entire race, led every lap here, under green so far. Do you have Jerry West, who is confirmed to be alive now? He is alive. Not sure if he's actually in the truck there or not, but he is in second place and is slowly, as he always done, pick his way through the field, and now starting in second place. You have Matthew Greathouse, who seems to be really coming live on the late runs. Not going to have a late run here to end this thing. So what does he have on the short run? Is he holding anything back? You have Kyle Bartels, who just has come from the back of the pack. I mean, there's no other way of saying it. He's up 14 spots now in fourth place. You have Grady Gherkin, your points leader. Eric Jeffers coming off a second place last week. He's up there in sixth. Jeremy Little has had a fast truck, at least on the short run, for the qualifying speed to get into second place and really likes this track. A lot of big heavy hitters at the front here. Who you got? Who are you rooting for? It is Jeremy and Justin, or Jerry and Justin on the front row. Justin on the loud pedal, and he is off into turn one with a nice lead as Greathouse tries to get to the inside of Jerry West. They're going to be side by side coming off the corner, give the momentum to the 00. He's going to get it done off the corner. So West into second, Greathouse into third. It is going to be Bartels that is going to find his way into fourth spot, just in front of Eric Jeffers, who has moved into fifth as Grady Gherkin drops now back into sixth place. But they are all chasing that 58 truck once again as we are back under green here.
Oh,
and
it's
we
got a
have
spin.
got 20 to go, but another caution going to come out here. And does that involve the 8 truck once again? And yeah, that might be a little bit of a payback there from Travis Bennett getting into the back of the 8 truck. And unfortunately, he gets clipped again. And it's a little bit of a payback, and then I guess retribution in the middle of the payback. So yeah, that's going to bring out another caution here late in this race. And unfortunately, since it involved the 6, I don't think he's going to get that lucky dog. We'll see how everything plays out here. But now it gets interesting again. I mean, only a couple laps here on the tires. I don't think anybody's going to come back in even to get 2 more tires.
You're gonna see we're gonna see the people in the back. I mean, you're gonna see the Jake Lesh, the TJ de Blasi, Peter Przuchek, Chris Fail, Tim Glass, all come in for pits in the pit lanes, and as they lit up red here as I'm saying their names. Yeah, those guys are getting tires. Those guys stayed out. They get on the lead lap. Their gamble worked. And they're gonna have a couple. Not real new tires, but a little bit newer. I mean, they're gonna have to get them warmed up out there, but they'll have fresh tires to be able to, swing at the fence with the rest of these guys as they come down these closing laps. We're on lap 158, so we're on the backstretch right now. So when they cross the start finish line, they will complete 158 laps of the 175. It's going to take a few more laps, and by the time they go green, we'll be about 160. So we're looking at about 15 to 16 lap shootout here, and I'm sure they wanted to go green. They're not going to, these guys don't want these things to go caution after caution after caution, but this is the time of the race where, every position matters, and you don't have a lot of time to make it back. This track's short, it's quick, it's high banked, you can make the outside work, you can make the inside work, and really got to be cautious about who's around you. So in case you do have a slower guy in front of you, you're not catching up in their wake and then making a mistake. So just kind of being self-aware of who's around you and when you can make that move, and hopefully you can make it cleanly. But these guys are going to do great here, and Yeah, I mean, Justin Kirby, in first, Jerry West, Matthew Greathouse, Carl Bartles, and Eric Jeffers were our top 5. And then we have Grady Gherkin, Trevor Hunt, Jeremy Little, Robert Colgan, and Chris Bouchard for our top 10. Scott Bolster, Tony Japs, Jasper Crawford, Jordan Wenzel, Jake Glass, TJ DeBlasi, Chris Fail, Tim Glass, Peter Pazuchek, Travis Bennett being our first truck 1 lap down. I do not think he's going to get that lucky dog this time around, as he was involved in that quick accident there as this caution came out. Then Brent Kirby 3 laps down in 21st. Joe Hurd is still in the pits at the moment. I'm probably getting some damage fixed on his truck as he is 6 laps down. And then Chris Spencer sitting in the pits, but he has been in the pits for quite a while. Now he's probably just watching. Maybe hopefully he's out there watching the broadcast as we continue to show all the action that's here tonight at the Man Cave After Dark Truck Series with the UCRL at Richmond.
Yeah, it was actually Brent Kirby getting the wave around there. He zoomed by the leaders, so he was the lucky dog in this one, and it did not go to Travis Bennett. But once again, another restart here, and yeah, these late race cautions tend to breed more late race cautions as everybody is going for absolutely every inch, and these guys have kind of tender-footed around here for quite some time, and just trying to get to this point in the race. Now, lack of better words, the gloves are off. It's time to go. It's time to get that position. It's time to try and make that move. And if you're Jerry West, if you're Matthew Greathouse, if you're Kyle Bartles, it's time to find a way around Justin Kirby. He's been out there this entire time now. He is the control truck, though, and he is the one that gets on that loud pedal first, and he is going to be able to do that once again as we are going to go back green here. If I can just get a refresh on your side there, Jimmy, just so I can get everything back up on my side. But we are getting ready to go back green here at Richmond, and on the lap pedal again, Justin Kirby with another great jump here. Going to get to the outside, going to have his preferred line into turn 1. And he will lead these guys onto the backstretch. Jerry West trying to do his best to claw back up there and keep Matthew Greathouse back at the same time. Going to do blocking. That. Greathouse trying to do everything he can to keep Kyle Bartles back, but Bartles will not be contained here tonight. He is trying to move around that 51. He's got Grady Gherkin all over the backside as well. Eric Jeffers in the mix. Jeremy Little back there in the mix. Throw a blanket over these 5 right here, battling for 4th on back. Great stuff here to end this thing. Actually, 3rd on back as they're looking to go try and go 3 wide almost there for a second. But out front, it is Justin Kirby trying to hold back the old man, Jerry West, I guess we'll call him at this point. And these guys are just all over each other. Matthew Greathouse trying to hold on to that last podium spot. Kyle Bartles trying to do the unthinkable, come up 15 spots if he can get around that 51 right now. And these guys are running down these laps. Fastest lap of the race last time by for Justin Kirby. So he is certainly not holding anything back as he tries to stretch his lead out as much as possible. Doing a pretty good job so far. Up there by about a half a second over Jerry West. Does not want to lose this lead. He's led this entire time. And he wants to lead this last lap for sure. Bartles does clear the 51 now. Moves into 3rd place, and now battle right behind them as Jeffers going to get to the inside of Grady Gherkin. Those guys going to do battle off the corner. Greathouse goes up there and just, I mean, it wasn't really a block, but just wow, that was certainly close to being another caution right there as these guys are now under 10 to go. And unfortunately, it didn't look like it refreshed on my side, so I'm not sure if you can do it again there, Jimmy, but it is Justin Kirby out there now to a 0.8 of a second lead. So he is absolutely on fire here tonight and just going to be really tough to beat. Jerry West going to have to throw everything at him, but it is essentially a 2-truck breakaway, mini breakaway there, as those guys are ahead of Kyle Bartles in 3rd. Greathouse and Gherkin make up your top 5 as Gherkin still has his hands full with Jeffers on the inside. Those guys have been side by side now, it seems like forever. And don't look now, Bouchard back in the mix. And he had enough speed to get past our leader earlier, Justin Kirby, but I don't think he has enough time to catch and pass him at this point. But he has really, really rebounded in this race and got himself back up, battling now just outside the top 5.
Yeah, he's been there all night. He was one of the few drivers to actually get around Justin Kirby, whether he let him around or not, and stay in front of him, and was working his way back up front. Was able to catch that caution, got lucky, and was able to get back in the lead lap. But here he is, finding himself in that 6th spot, right behind our points leader Grady Gherkin in 5th. So whether he gets to the on the podium tonight or not, he has to pat himself on the back, because he overcome some good hurdles here tonight so far, and being in that top 10 is the competition out here is just amazing. So these guys put on a great race every single week, and I'm just curious to see who's going to be up front, who's going to lead. Oh, and we're out with another yellow, as it looks like Jake Lesh is involved in that one. Let's see what goes on right here, as looks like looked like he was trying to slide up, and the 81 was just quite there. So maybe on Jake Less just a little bit, just being there in that back left corner, and him and the 81 getting tangled up, spinning around, bringing out another caution here late in the race.
Jimmy, things just got interesting as Justin Kirby was out to a 1-second lead at that point. Now, who comes into the pits? Who doesn't? A lot of people faking it out right there. Looks like nobody in the front is going to come in there, and it's not a shocker there, as it's too late to pit, I think, at this point. Green, white checkered is on tap here for this one. It'll be a one and done here thing, so they've got to get it right the first time if they want to try and get it done. But Jerry West still in 2nd. Now Kyle Bartles will restart in 3rd. Greathouse is going to be on the outside, so we'll see if they can work together between him and West to try and get a good restart. Gherkin and now Bouchard going to be in that 3rd row, so we'll see if Bouchard can get this thing done after all, as just, again, an amazing comeback. And he certainly had a fast truck here tonight, but gonna be very, very short here on the restart. And if Justin Kirby gets another restart like he's been having, gonna be tough to catch and pass him.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be close, and not saying it's out of it, but maybe Jerry West goes for a deep dive in turn 2, and Justin Kirby comes down, they get together, and that checks him up. That allows Carl Bartles to get around and not only be on the podium but grab a win. Maybe Matthew Greathouse is sitting back in that catbird seat, and the top 3 get wrapped up and he wins the race. There's so many things that can happen. This is going to be a green white checker. This truck here is we're on lap 74 right now, so when they complete this lap here, we'll be on the last lap on lap 75. So we're going to have a green white checker, and some of the guys in the back are just going to have time, but they're going to want to push, and some of those guys who went in there and took tires and lost about 4 or 5 positions are going to be looking to get those back and maybe more. So I don't know if I would have made that move this late in the race, being being a short track and all. I would just roll my dice and kind of just try to finish this race up, but we'll see how it works out for them guys in the back, and to see if they can gain positions. But Travis Bennett did get back in the lead lap that time around. He was a lucky dog, and we are getting ready to go green here soon. I'm going to hop on board with Justin Kirby and look out the nose camera. The yellow lights are still on the pace truck as we come down the backstretch, so we're going to complete lap 175 here under caution. So we're going into OT, baby, and another exciting ending race.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're looking for a little carnage here at the end.
Well, I know it's gonna happen. I just know it. I can feel it in my bones.
There's certainly gonna be some carnage somewhere on the track for sure. So again, what are you guys looking to see here on this restart, as we are gonna get ready to fire these things off one last time here at Richmond Raceway. Been one heck of a race so far. Just to give you guys an idea on Kyle Bartles, we may not have talked about him much this season. He's going for his first top 5. Oh, he has had a bit of a rough season, only 6 top 10s out of the 10 races. He's not just looking for his first win, his first podium. He's looking for his first top 5 of the season. So certainly, we don't necessarily like to root for one person or another, but you got to root for guys like that. You got to root for the underdog at times. But it is Justin Kirby getting ready to fire off, and he does once again on the loud pedal. Great restart for the 58. One last time, and Jerry West just clearing that 51, as that is your top three right now. Kyle Bartles getting shuffled back just a little bit, getting into Chris Bouchard a little bit. Grady Gherkin, your points leader, almost bit it hard there. Great save by the 46 as they come off the turn. We got some wrecking on the backstretch. Looks like those guys will get out of the way. White flag in the air. We're going to stay green on this thing. It is Justin Kirby out front. Jerry West trying to throw everything at him, and he is reeled in the gap. Does he have anything going into turn 3? Matthew Greathouse not going to be able to get up there. He's in third place. Jerry West not going to be able to get to the back bumper. Justin Kirby putting on a clinic at Richmond, getting it done for Black Magic. And Jerry West going to come home in second. Matthew Greathouse in third. Kyle Bartles, the charge from the back, pays off for his first top 5 of the season. Congrats to the 76 there in fourth place. Bouchard makes that great comeback. Finish with a top 5, so great comeback for the 28. Grady Gherkin, your points leader, just kind of a ho-hum day for him, but finishes in 6th where he needs to. We'll take a look back at the action there in the end, and there were certainly some trucks all over the place. I seen the 52 was out of it. I believe the 18, and you're probably going to see it right here.
Yeah, this is here where it all begins. The 52 getting a little loose, trying to catch it, snags the 18. It's going to pull him wide. The guys on the back are checking up, and then trying to miss traffic. It looks like the, who is that? The 9 just sneaks by there. Brent Kirby sneaks by, and along Travis Bennett, but these 4 in the back just, look at the net code. I hate when that happens. Your truck just grabs the wall
like that. Yeah. Yep. And then bullseye on that one.
And then towards the end at the checkered flag, I mean, it continues as these guys are running hard, and there's Tony Japs on the inside of Little, just getting into him just a little bit. Almost 4 wide at Richmond. And as Scott down below, I'm sure he's just being like, great Scott, keep me out of this trouble, to beat me to the future or something. But Tony Japs getting into Scott, sending him upside down the backstretch. So, but it looks like he was able to land that thing back on its 4 tires. So hopefully able to, but the 55 not making out very well at all as he gets tagged and spun around.
Yeah, not a shocker there, unfortunately, for the 55, just not being able to finish races here. But I mean, just a fantastic finish there. I mean, it's not often you have a fantastic race and finish when the guy that wins the race led pretty much everything. I mean, there might have been like 1 or 2 laps under caution that he didn't lead, but he led a good 170. Maybe even 175 laps of this 175 lap scheduled race as we went into overtime. But we're going to go ahead and start bringing these guys in for interviews. Just, wow. I mean, again, just not a shock that these guys put on a great race. And it's, as much as some of these guys don't like to see the late race cautions, they certainly bring out a lot of entertainment for sure. Just trying to get these guys up into the booth right now, and we will go ahead and start our interviews. As soon as it lets me drag these guys around, we'll get Matthew Greathouse in here. It's not cooperating with me right now, but okay, now we will go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher, Matthew Greathouse. And you had some fans out there tonight really hoping to get that 51 up there in victory lane, and he started out, it sounds like, as Matthew Decenthouse, and he finished as Matthew Greathouse here in the end for some of those guys. But you finished 3rd, and it's got to feel good. I mean, it's got to feel like you exercised some of the demons, as you had some really good showings and rough finishes, but a 3rd place is still going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, man, it's good to finally get a podium. I feel like I've had the speed, certain tracks to finish top 3, and if not, go for wins. Last week at Michigan, I had a great run going and just got killed at the very end of that race. So just had some bad luck here lately. So it's good to put one together. I think if that would have went green the rest of the way, I think I would have had something for Justin. It's definitely rolling there on that long run.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It seemed like that truck really come to life on the long run for you, and it took a little bit to get going, but about 20-30 laps in, you really started to keep up with him and then start to reel him in after that. But It's really been, I mean, in my opinion, for you, a rough season. I mean, it seems like you should be in the top 5 in points. It seems like you should have 5, 6, 7 top 5s out of the 12 or 13 races at this point in the season. But unfortunately, this is only your second top 5, and you've had the speed for a lot of races, as I've said. So, will this help you, kind of feel a little bit better and give you a little bit better of an outlook for the rest of the season, and maybe start climbing in the points and maybe grab that first win of the season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got a good team over here. Me, Little, Bouchard, Chris Fail, all the guys at mid-pack. We're not really mid-pack. We've been running up front. We've had some good runs, and I've just had, like I said, the bad luck, and I do feel like I should have more top 5s and be contending for wins with the speed and stuff I'm showing in practice and the data and everything. What's the data showing in comparison to my teammates who's been running up front as well and winning races. So it's just one of those things where just trying to get the monkey off the back and put together some good runs. It's definitely a good confidence boost tonight. So moving forward, I just gotta keep the tires under me on these short runs. These Scott Bolster setups, they're tough to drive, at least for me, on cold tires. I do a lot better with them over a long run, and a lot of these races come down to a short run, and I think that's caused me some issues as well.
Yeah, I think maybe changing that name to either Front Pack Motorsports, because you guys have been up in the front of the pack a lot, or maybe just Bad Luck Motorsports, because between you and Jeremy Little, I think you've had enough bad luck for the entire league this season. Just really, really fast trucks, and just not having the finishes that really deserved probably up to this point. But either way, a good job of finishing in third, and really you can even say Chris Bouchard had the issues there, having the stop and go penalty mid race. So really your entire team just having that bad luck here tonight, but you were able to exercise some demons, get that podium finish, and we'll give you a little bit of time to give any shout outs that you want to.
All right. Well, first of all, shout out to you guys for broadcasting. I watch back every race, and you guys do a phenomenal job. Probably one of the best broadcast crews that I've been a part of in a league. So, congratulations on that. I want to shout out a couple sponsors that's been kind of backing me for the last probably 3 or 4 months or longer even. Off Axis Paint. Part of Team Off Axis, so those guys have been real nice, and I've got some merchandise. You can get yours at shopoffaxis.com. You can use code MAT10 for 10% off your order. I'd like to shout out Drive Fast Apparel as well, and also Badass Beard Company, who just came on, Badass Beard Care, just came on board with me. They've got a great rewards program on their website as well. And then also shout out to the Meat Stick for sponsoring this race. So I know that's Jeremy's sponsor. They have some great products, so you want to check them out as well. Shout out to my teammates at Mid-Pack. What a great team we have. It's awesome. So they make these races fun, and we have such a good time, practicing and racing and everything. So shout out to the league tonight. I thought we had a great race compared to some of the other short tracks. So, and also thanks to Scott Bolster. He is a great admin and puts on a heck of a show, and for us, and it's just a lot of fun to run some green flags. So, I think that's it. I hope that was long enough.
Absolutely, and mid-pack is certainly going to run down full throttle a little bit here in the point standings as well, with a couple top 5. So congrats to you, congrats to the team, and we'll let you go celebrate.
All right, yeah. Shout out, another shout out to everybody in the chat that was rooting me on. I tried there, just needed that to go green.
I think you still kept your name as Great House. At one point it was Decent House in the beginning of the race, but I think top 3 should keep your name as Great House. So congrats again.
Yeah, great inside joke there by the guys in the chat. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.
All right, that was your third place finisher, the 51 of Matthew Greathouse. Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our second place finisher, Jerry West, the driver, not the owner.
No, not.
Not the owner. No, Jerry. I mean, you were there all race, all night tonight, and to get you back up here in the booth, in that 00, to have the finish that you did. You came up 7 spots, and I think there was certain points there. It might have looked like not only getting a second place, but maybe you had something for Justin. But Justin just seemed a little quick tonight, and it looked like nobody really had a chance at a certain point to even catch him.
Yeah, he was great, man. I mean, flawless all night. But as I was talking to him in the waiting room, he was saying that Matt might have got to him, and that's who I was behind. I was watching Matt, and I was thinking I could get to Matt. So, like, if I could get to Matt and he thought Matt was going to pass him, then maybe I had a chance. But it would have had to go green, so like that's when I kind of excels under the green flag. So I hated that the caution come out. It did make it a little more exciting there at the end, a little bit more fun for us as drivers. Of course, you always got that fear of somebody's going to send it. So send it
always,
right into
always,
you.
always.
Yeah. Fortunately, I was up on the front row and able to clear every time going out of 2. So. It worked out pretty good for us, but coming through the field, I was a little worried there. But with 80 something lap runs, I was getting ready to pit when the caution come out that first time, and I was glad I didn't. But it kind of took the pit strategy out of it for us, which I think would have helped play a role because we had good pit stops all night. But yeah, I'll take second all day long, man. It's not my first time coming home bridesmaid. I think it's like the 3rd or so, maybe 4th. But it was a good run for us tonight.
Yeah, getting them a lot of them second place finishes. You're gonna have to watch out for yourself. You be that bridesmaid. So that's something that I'm sure you're not looking forward to have, as we have one in another league that we're in. That
Absolutely not.
He loves his bridesmaid title, as we call it. He's got tagged there in our chat. So, but anyways, you did a great run, and yeah, it made it interesting at the end there. I thought maybe it'd go green, but I know you guys, and you guys give 110 or 20%, and especially at the end, and you can tell that somebody wants to go. I've seen people 2 wide and wanting to push it 3 wide, but like just holding back and not, because obviously the guys in front of them are racing, and you're not trying to wreck each other. So it's just great racing here at UCRL, and I enjoy broadcasting you guys. Like, I look forward to Tuesday nights. It's just like part of my week. So hopefully,
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we try to put on a pretty good show for you guys and anybody that's watching. Of course, sometimes it doesn't turn out the best, but tonight I feel like was a pretty good showing for us.
Yeah, it was a great run, especially with the green flag runs. But all in all, you came in second, and I want to give you a big old congratulations, and also give you some time to give any shout outs you might have.
Yeah, shout out to all the drivers, man, for a good race tonight. That's what we was needing as a group of drivers to get us going on the right direction. So shout out to those guys. And of course, anybody that's out there watching, you guys up there in the booth, Scott for all the hard work that he does. My teammates, Dustin, and everybody back. Chris, I know he got in late and didn't get to finish the race, but all the guys over at Smoke Show Racing, man, and SRTV's on the hood of this thing. So we got us a second tonight, and hope you guys enjoyed it.
I definitely enjoyed that, and we'll let you go back and celebrate.
All right, thank you guys.
Hey, you have a good night.
That was your second place finisher, the 00 of Jerry West. Now we will go ahead and bring in the man of the race. That is Justin Kirby. And Justin, I got to say, I mean, I've had my fair share of multi-class racing, and especially when it comes to iRacing, the 24-hour events, 12-hour events, I know that they can set up the BOP correctly. So I had to take a look and make sure other drivers were driving a Ford, because it just seemed like the balance of power was certainly on board for you tonight. I mean, just really tough for anybody to even catch you, other than the 51. 51 had a little sniff there for a little bit at the end, but I mean, just clean air for you the whole entire night.
Oh yeah, that's completely unexpected. Honestly, I was kind of middle of the road. I was just going to be happy just rolling around and just kind of seeing where my pace would end up, and then I ended up out front, and I'm like, oh, okay. So goal from there was roll the car, keep the left front pin to the yellow line, and so let's see where the chips fall. But last 20 laps there, if we would have went green, I wasn't going to win that race, because Matt had the better tires on me.
Yeah, it was certainly looking like the 51 just really came to life late in the run, but I mean, beginning of the run, middle of the run, you were certainly the dominant truck, and it was really tough to keep pace with you for everybody in the field. I mean, you had several guys that were in second place, and nobody could really run you down, other than when it come to late in the run there. But you know, once you guys were kind of on the even playing field at the end there, you all had the fresh tires, and you seemed to be the best truck on that short run. So, you know, once you got those good restarts at the end, was there any threat that you thought that maybe, you know, Jerry would get to the back of you, or Matthew, or even Kyle at the end?
I was afraid it was going to be my right foot trying to use a little too much coming off, because if I slipped a little bit, I mean, it was going to be game over, because the tires don't take like 2 laps to come back, and it would have been it. But it was like everybody here is so darn good with the trucks, and it's, I mean, just to get in the position to be able to do something is I'm just happy I'm able to do that. And oh man, I kind of ran out of words there.
Oh, I mean, we kind of ran out of words for watching you just dominate this race. I mean, it was just a dominating performance, and there may have been a little black magic in the air here tonight. So you got it done here tonight. You got your second win on the season now, and got to ask you, you know, looking forward on the rest of the schedule, is there any other tracks that you're really looking forward to maybe grab that third win, keep that charge up the point standings?
I'm really digging Nashville. I've run some laps there already, and it's gonna. I gotta. If we do it right, that's probably gonna be one of our best races that we've had here, because she's pretty racy. And then obviously got Wilkesboro coming up. Like any of the short tracks, it's like I'm always game for. It's born and raised and up in. And with all the short tracks we got up here in Wisconsin, all the names that have come from here, it's like it's a point of pride for us. Like, and Brent's going to be up there too, and we're going to get Trevor up here. We're going to get the guys, and we're going to try and put on a show.
We certainly are looking forward to how you perform out there at North Wilkesboro, as we got you tagged in there as the in-race reporter for that one. And maybe we'll have to talk to you and a couple of the guys next week at Nashville, as we got nobody on the docket right now. But once again, congrats on just a dominating performance here, and a great win for you and the team. So before we let you go, we'll give you any time to give your shout-outs.
Yeah, just thanks to Brent. Just Hank, being the awesome brother he is. Just Trevor helping us out and along, and the guys at PG-13 when we run on the roadside. Just keeping this thing fun, and all the guys at UCRL, Scott running the league, all the boys racing, and you guys for helping us show what we can do at Core. So thank you.
Well, thank you for putting on a great race. All you guys, you do it week in and week out, and yeah, you have some rough spots here and there, but most of the time it's great racing, and you guys showed it tonight. So congrats once again. We'll let you go celebrate with the team.
Yes, thank you, and thanks for not bringing up Bristol. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too, buddy. All right, that was your top three, but last but not least, we're going to have one more interview here, and not to be discounted here. One spot short of the podium for Kyle Bartles, but I'll be damned if we're not going to bring him into the booth after the run through the field that he had tonight. First top 5 of the season, just shy of the podium, but 14 spots up from the starting spot. Kyle, just walk us through your race.
Yeah, I better be the most improved driver for the race for sure. Terrible qualifying. Just
agree.
I don't know what's going on with me this year with qualifying, but I'm just not getting it. I got it at the beginning of the season, and I've just been trash. And this setup was very good. I had a really long run truck. I don't know if you guys are following, but it's just picking off one by one, and I was kind of upset that a few cautions came out, and I don't know. I probably would have. I don't know how fast Kirby was up there, but I mean, he was fast. He was the man of the race, but I don't know how fast he was, what times he was putting down on a long run truck. But I don't know. I was hoping I would get up there or at least catch him. So for sure a top 3, but he kind of got me there on that last restart. Didn't think he was going to go that early. So.
Yeah, you were one of the you were very consistent. I think I picked you out in about quarter away or about third of the way through the race. I was like, we need to watch out for Kyle. He's on the move and he's going to the front. And just slowly and steadily, like, after the green flag, you're still in that spot. After the caution, you're still up front. You were just gaining and gaining and gaining all night long. And I told Carl that I was like, we need to watch out for Kyle. He's on the move.
Awesome. Yeah. My favorite NASCAR driver is Matt Kenseth, and I just felt like, Matt Kenseth always starts in the back and finishes top 5, top 10, and I just feel like I'm always one of those drivers. I haven't finished top 5 like what you guys said this year. It's my first one, which is very disappointing. I haven't gotten any others, or a win at least, but
sorry,
I have been.
Well,
I was talking to Matt down in the waiting room about that too. I'm like, Matt, I cannot believe, because Matt and I go back and we've talked before even this league on other games and all that, and I'm like, Matt, I cannot believe that this is my first top 5 and just had bad luck. I was always like 7th and 8th, and I was up there in top 5 in the points until some things happened. Like, I mean, I can't do this every week, so just because of work and everything. But yeah, I just can't believe it. This is my first top 5. Just I don't know what race is this. 12,
13.
13, yeah. So exactly. So, but I was always up there in the top 5 in points for the longest time, and until I couldn't make it anymore. I had a couple bad breaks, but those top 10s were really helping me up in the points for a while.
So I gotta ask you, what was kind of cooking here for Elite Motorsports, because it wasn't just you. Your teammate Robert Colgan also up 12 spots, and I think at one point he was up 11 spots. He was up there into 9th place. So. I mean, maybe you guys got to put a little more time into the qualifying efforts, but either way, it paid off on race pace. I mean, what did you guys have? Were you talking throughout the race and telling each other what lines were feeling good, or was it just all feel that just felt right for both of you guys for the race?
I mean, TJ asked me, because I passed him and was cooking, and he's like, "You're flying." And he asked me what I was doing, and I told him what I was set up for my brake bias and how I was rolling that I was just rolling the corners. I was just making sure the tires weren't getting overheated. I wasn't losing them on the back. I mean, that's all you have to do is just the first 20, 25 laps. You just got to make sure you're not killing your tires. Those guys out there were killing their tires a lot. And I mean, thank God it was a long run race. That first 85 laps, that was fun. Like, I was hoping, I said to the guys, I cannot believe we might be doing green flag pit stops here in a second. So, and then actually 2 of them got together there, but on my team, not even a lap later, they said that. I'm like, oh, oops. So, but no, Robert and I really didn't talk about it together. Robert was very fortunate about getting that caution coming out, keeping it on his lap, and but yeah, we don't do really well at qualifying. Robert doesn't qualify at all. I mean, he's probably told you guys that before in the broadcast booth. I know he's been up here a time or two, but he doesn't qualify. He starts in the back, and but he always has a good long run car all the time too. So Robert and I have always been racing together for a long time. We didn't meet here in UCRL. We go way back. So we just kind of learn off each other. Even not even talking to each other, we learn off each other, and we usually finish pretty decent. So.
Well, you guys had a heck of a run through the field, both of you guys, for this race. So definitely want to give you some time. Even though you didn't make the podium, you definitely deserved a bit of a shout out here tonight. So we'll let you get some time right now to give some shout outs before we let you go.
Shout out to the whole team Elite. Joe had a rough night, unfortunately. TJ, he always puts it in there every week, and Robert, just that's it. I mean, just my teammates. I mean, that's the only reason why I'm here. And I mean, practice is a beaut. It's important, and just talking to other people just instead of yourself really helps out. So having those guys as a group is accomplishment is by itself. So, and then Matt's probably going to give me a shout out for not knocking him out in 1 and 2, because he did come down in front of me there, and he appreciated and thanked me for not taking him out. So, I also said to him, well, if I did that, I feel like I probably would not even got a top 5, because I would have gotten that too. So that's how my year's been going. So.
Yeah, it was certainly a bit of a pucker moment for us when we seen that happen right there. But you guys kept it clean and kept the green there at the end. So congrats once again on the top 5, and hopefully this is the start of a little bit of a run for you. And maybe we'll talk to you again real soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, that your 4th place finisher, the 76 of Kyle Bartles. And Jimmy, I mean, we say it week in and week out probably. Short tracks suck to race on, at least in our eyes, but I'll be damned if they don't put on great racing.
Yeah, I'm not out there driving, so I'm all right. I mean, maybe I just need to, maybe get with some of these guys that, and maybe they need a spotter. I'm a good spotter, guys. Hit me up. I mean, I've been there, done that, and I just can't get the. I don't know if it's just the amount of times or how fast the tire changes, and like how much people think you just go around in a circle. Like ovals are difficult, whether you think so or not. I mean, it's hitting your braking point, hitting your mark. Oh, by the way, your tires are burning up and you suck right now, so you need to back off and change all of that. It's not hitting the same exact spot 100% of the time. They're like the exact same because the car changes weight, tires, fuel. I mean, it's it's amazing how much diversity in a car, from when you start the race to a half a tank to an empty tank and bad tires, and then, oh, by the way, you're running around other people and you went from clean air to dirty air, and all of those are things that can affect your race. It's amazing, and how much talent it takes not only to race in a pack, but on a short track and hit your marks and finish well and have long green flag runs. And by the way, we're not professionals. We do this on fun. You heard Kyle out there. He's saying, "Oh, I can't do this every week." We had a guy. It didn't even make the race. He's in like the top part of the points. Like he's got a life outside of this, whether it's coaching basketball or whatever it was that he said. I forget what he said. The number 13.
Yeah,
Stouffer. Yeah. So, these guys are just out here, just having fun, doing what they like to do, enjoying their time. They pay for their service. They come out here and I'm sure they put a little bit of money into the league. But Scott puts on a great run. We put on a great show. We want them to come back. We want them to visit. We want them to see these things, and whether they get a laugh at some of the things we say or just their family enjoys what we're saying, just kind of put it out there. I mean, you hear me and Carl talk all the time. Willing to talk to the chat out there. Say what you want to say. Say who you want to root for. I'll change my camera to them. This isn't ESPN. You can talk to me. I'll change my camera. So, a little more personal here, and it's a lot of fun. So, but again, congratulations to the guys. I'll just run down real quick. Obviously, we had Justin, Jerry, Matt, and Kyle for our top 4, but Chris Bouchard doing a great job coming back and finishing in 5th spot. Grady Kirkin, our points leader, finishing in 6th, so another decent run for him. Eric Jeffers in 7th, Trevor Hunt in 8th, Jordan Wenzel in 9th, Robert Colgan in 10th, Jasper Crawford in 11th, Travis Bennett, being a lap down, 2 laps down at one point, getting involved in an accident, not getting a lucky dog, catching another caution, getting back on the lead lap, finishing in 12th. Chris Fail 13th, TJ DeBlasi in 14th, Jeremy Little just constantly wrong spot, wrong time, had a fast car, had good qualification, just didn't have it at the end, finishing in 15th. But we love talking to Jeremy, and hopefully he'll be back here next week. Tony Japson 16th, Scott Bolster, league owner, runner, he makes setups, he's out here running with his guys, and he does a great job. And one of these days he makes these setups. You think he'd be out front? Nope. Justin Kirby showing him how to run his own setup. Jake Lesson finishing 18th, getting in that late game caution there, and then move back here to the rest of the field because we got more people here. We can't forget the rest of the back of the pack. They're just as important as the front, or there wouldn't be a front. So then we have Peter Pazuchek finishing 19th, Tim Glass in 20th, Brent Kirby in 21st, Joe Hurd 22nd. And, Chris Spencer getting out there doing what he could, and had to park it a little bit early, but. Again, every single driver here at UCRL, great. I love watching you, and it's been a blast getting to know you guys and see you guys week in and week out. And I look forward to next week when we're at where we're at next week. Pull up the schedule real quick, and
next week is going to be at Nashville. So
another 175 laps, a little bit shorter track, a little bit flatter. Not my cup of tea, but I will be there, and I will put on a great broadcast.
Yeah, I think the best thing about these guys is watching the progression of where they were at the beginning of the season to now. Just like watching you get just slowly better and better at saying Brzuchek. It's a progression throughout the entire season. So Loving to see it, and it's fun watching these guys week in, week out, and just waiting to see who that next fresh winner is going to be. It was second win here tonight for Justin Kirby. That is going to do it for us here at Richmond Raceway, and the UCRL Man Cave After Dark Truck Series again next week at Nashville Fairgrounds. Same time, same channel. Check us out then. Right before this is the championship race next Tuesday for the ARCA Series in the Core Racing League as those guys finish up. So maybe tune into them for a little bit. Get you a little warmed up, a little appetizer before you tune in here to UCRL, as those guys have been putting on a pretty good show, and they have their championship race next week. But once again, another great showing for these guys. I can't wait till next week already. Hope you guys tune in. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.